on.
Don't even worry about it.
My name is Enrica Kalina, born Kalina, Mitron. I lived all my life in Warsaw until the September 1939 when the war broke out. I was still in Warsaw. And then I was in Warsaw Ghetto till the very end, till the resurrection in Warsaw Ghetto. I took a part in the resurrection and was taken to Majdanek during Pesach of 1943. I stayed in Majdanek for the whole year. I'll explain it later better because I went out from Majdanek and then came back that day, the 3rd of November 1943, this famous day. This was the day of the massacre. And that day I was saved, one of the about 18,000 Jews. They were shot and burned to death that day. And at that day they had chosen 300 men and 300 women. Later we found out to sort out the clothing after the death. And we worked there until our work was finished. Till the following April 1944, they took the 300 men and 300 women to Auschwitz to be exterminated. This transport arrived there, less 13 women. What happened to the 11, I don't know. They didn't arrive there, but one jumped out and is alive in Poland. She lost a leg while jumping out from the train. Myself. These are the only two witnesses alive to this November 3rd, 1943 massacre. I stayed there till the following, this is in April when I jumped out here. And then I was wandering for a few weeks. I wanted to join the partisans, and I met a couple of peasants that took me to the hut, and I stayed there in the hayloft until July 1944 when the Russia liberated me. That's it. This is shortly all my... you want more details? There are so many that I can talk about it from today till the doomsday and one year now. So just tell me what you want to know more about it.
All right. Well, let's go back to Warsaw.
To Warsaw. You mean September 39? The war broke out. I was with my family, father, mother, older brother, and younger sister.
You had how many brothers?
I had one older brother, Ephraim, and a younger sister, Stella. And now, the story of my family, the closest family.
All right.
Okay. My father, we all went to live in the ghetto. We had to go to live in the ghetto. We lived on the side that's called the Christian side. So when the order came to go to the ghetto from all over Warsaw, all the Jews had to to live in one quarter. And then they built walls around that quarter, and that quarter was becoming smaller and smaller while they were taking out the Jews from the ghetto, whether to camps or to exterminating places like Treblinki and others. The ghetto became smaller and smaller. So naturally we're changing places. During all this, my stay in ghetto, there were so-called actions when the Germans came unexpectedly and were calling alle runter. I don't know if you know anything about it. All the Jews in the homes had to come downstairs and were taken to the street and were taken away to a place called Umschlagplatz. This was a place where they had the cattle trains waiting for the Jews to be taken away to, again, to concentration camps, exterminating places, and so forth. So I escaped twice. I was taken with, there were many actions, but there were, so, I don't know if you know, if you don't understand something, ask. What is the action? And this is translated from Polish akcja. This means it's so hard to explain it. The Germans surrounded you from all sides, and you had to surrender to them in order to be taken to that place, Umschlagplatz.
No, wait. Your family was in the ghetto then?
Right, this I'm talking about the times in the ghetto.
Right, and they would take you all down.
Yes, right. And during that first summer action, my mother and my sister were taken away. My brother was a Jewish policeman, so he was maneuvering. You know that in Warsaw ghetto, like in any other ghetto, you had only the right to exist if you had some kind of a paper that said so. That means that you work for the Germans. If you do some kind of a services to the Germans, then you have the right to get these rations as tiny as they were. This is what you got. And if they caught you, you could show in the beginning this piece of paper that saved you, that let you go home. This was in the very beginning, but later, no matter what kind of papers you had, it didn't help. So my brother was a Jewish policeman, and he couldn't save my family. My mother went with my younger sister to the trains, to the Umschlagplatz. They gave them at that time a loaf of bread and a little jelly. And they promised them that they would be taken to working camps. We didn't know of Treblinka at that time, but the result was that they were taken to Treblinka, where they were, you know, got a little piece of soap, again, you know, making them believe that they're going to a bath, but nobody came out from there. So this is how my mother and my younger sister found death. My father was killed before.
What did your father do for a living?
Before the war? During the war, nobody did anything, right. You know. When we had real estate. And this was during our moving to the ghetto, that we were taking our belongings from the Christian side to the Jewish side. He was caught carrying a valise. It was almost the time of the curfew. It wasn't yet, but the German caught him like walking and walked over to him with the wooden part of the rifle. It hit him so long and he fell down unconsciously, and then he never gained his conscience back. somebody nearby, took him to the house. And next day, they brought him to our house, and he never gained his conscience. He was sick like that for many, many days. This was in 1942, if I remember well.
This was just because he was carrying
yes, for no
from
reason.
the Christian side.
So you didn't have a reason, with Germans that you just liked it like that. That's all. And so my father died like that, but he was the only one from the big family. I think I had hundreds of relatives, that he was the only one that was buried in a cemetery. The rest of this big family found that in camps and in bunkers and Treblinka and so forth. So he was buried in a Jewish cemetery, the only one. Then during the first action, my mother and my sister were taken away, and then I knew that this transport went to Treblinka. I found that later. And then again was the action that the Germans came and took everybody away to the Umschlagplatz. I was twice I escaped, but this is a different story. You have to understand what really Umschlagplatz is, to understand for somebody to escape. It's like somebody escapes now from the other war. It's exactly so, because Umschlagplatz was surrounded with many Germans.
How did you escape?
Well, the first time I escaped, where the Umschlagplatz was one building, a Jewish hospital. And then nobody could go in or out.
Now, was this outside of the ghetto?
It was outside of the ghetto. It was where the railroad track runs. And I had quite a lot of friends and relatives working as doctors and medical students in this hospital. I'll make it very short. I got a uniform, nurse's uniform. Through the basement window, somebody gave me a uniform. This is unbelievable. It's just sometimes I ask myself if this was true, because for him to open a window, for him to give it to me, it was such a risky thing to do. But I got it, and I was waiting until the shift of the nurses goes out. So I would join them, and it was such a
They
big...
weren't Jewish.
What?
They weren't Jewish, the doctors.
Oh yeah, Jewish.
Oh, they were.
Jewish, only Jewish. And this was a Jewish hospital, I told you. And in order to go out from that, come out from that Umschlagplatz, it was a how do you call it? Yeah, we had to go to a post, and from both sides, it was like a gate. From both sides, you have Germans, gendarmes, and Polish policemen and Jewish policemen. Can you imagine? I can count how many they were. And in order to go through this gate, you had to have some kind of a identification. So I don't remember exactly whether they were green or blue or something in the color square pieces that each of them were carrying. And I had in my pocket a piece of paper, It wasn't the same color, but something, I don't recall it exactly. Desperate, I had this kind of piece of paper. I joined them. They were going out in formation of 5. There may be, I should say, 25 or 35, few of them. So I joined them. I got in the middle of the 5, I shouldn't be at the edges, so I shouldn't be the first one. They should ask about the identification card, and somehow they checked the first and the second row, and since I was in the middle, I went. Can't explain it, I talk about it now, but this is something, it's unbelievable what it means, this waiting until they let them out. And I went out, and they took them out to the ghetto, to the quarters where the students and the doctors were living. You know that every factory or every body had a few blocks where there were quarters. You know, the policemen had their quarters. Wörterfassung, this is a group of boys and girls. They were going out to clean out the homes after the people they were taken away. And there were groups, all kinds of these were called commandos, those groups. So they took us to those commandos where the hospital personnel was living. I went there. I had friends there, so they kept me for the night. And then in the morning I went to where they took me out from my commando. And when they saw me, you know, this is honestly, it's like you see a ghost. They couldn't believe it that I escaped.
Weren't you afraid to go back?
To where they took me from?
Yeah.
No, why? I want you to ask questions because I want you to understand.
Well, didn't they notice? They went through all the places and took everyone out,
right.
And then new people moved in.
You know that the Germans really seldom came to the ghetto. They were really afraid, you know. They only came in formations on motorcycles with machine guns. If they came for this purpose to circle us around and to take us away, they came by the thousands. And let's say when I came back, since I came back, I had no right of existence, then I was in hiding. As a matter of fact, when they came, this was during the summer action, they came during the winter action in January it was. They caught us also unexpectedly, unaware of, you know, they always did it like that. They came at dawn, it was almost dark, anyway it was January, winter time, and these were the remnants of the inhabitants, of the people. Shoes and my looks